Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Sorry, I just woke up. If you're new, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're going over the OTA changes because they have a bunch of them, actually, and they look interesting. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So, welcome to this week's balance changes. We've got some buffs to underperforming new cards, a few nerfs and buffs, and some structure changes to cards that reference low and high cost cards. Let's dive in. Wolverine, Horseman of War. Old. 4/3 objective. This has 5 or more power. Give one of your cards at each location plus 3 power. The change is not to his core power, it's to his passive power. They're giving it a +4. So you're getting 3 extra power in return. So this might matter a little bit. This version of Wolverine hasn't quite been as effective as we would have liked. So we're juicing up his objective payoff in testing. We thought that a 4/12 that can spread power and has added synergy with cards that like power increases would be strong enough, but that hasn't turned out to be the case in practice. We've considered adjusting the card's base power and adjusting the threshold accordingly, but ultimately we decided to put more emphasis on the payoff. I think the payoff being better is a smarter idea. I think his core issue is that the payoff wasn't good enough. Now, if you run this guy, I feel like what could be a good last turn is Storm, Horseman of Famine plus him. So you play him plus Storm, Horseman of Famine, and they should just both go off, right? And buff everything. I think that'd be a pretty good payoff, ultimately, because Storm would give you +2 everything. Could give you +4. It's +6 everywhere. So Storm plus him as like a final 1/2 tap could be pretty solid for some decks. Is it good enough to go for? I don't know. We have a lot of stuff coming next month, so it's hard to say if this is like the one to go for when there's so much stuff coming. But I mean, I think he's gonna get a pack in the OTA, which should be nice to pick up. I think anyone that gets buffed now will just get an OTA pack. So if it's cheap enough, then yeah, go for him. We have Techno-Organic Virus on reveal. Copy this to your hand with +2 cost and affect your other cards here. Replace their text. The cost change is now going from +2 to +1, so it only gains +1 now. This makes it worth more. Mobius is no longer necessary with them, and you can play this twice and feel pretty good about it. Does it really affect the decks? It might. Being able to replace Mobius for something else more useful and not having to worry about this as a Mobius crutch could be nice. But if you want to play this more than like twice, I think Mobius is still kind of necessary. But if you only plan on playing this like once or twice, then I think it's fine as is. Techno Organic Virus has also turned out to be a bit weak, so we've decided to make it easier to replay the card and infect more of your board. This card is a bit tricky to buff, as any changes in power it gives has really large compounding effect. So our most effective lever is the cost of the card. Hopefully this makes it easier to build your Techno Organic army. Interesting. Moondragon is getting nerfed from a 2/2 to a 2/1. Chamber is getting nerfed from a 2/2 to a 2/1. Moondragon and Chamber both punch well above their weights for just 2 energy. In a deck that's currently in one of the strongest in the meta, both of these cards have just been really consistent, way too effectively scaled up their powers, so we're toning down their baseline a bit, hopefully to bring them more in line with the rest of the playing field. This is a nerf to end a turn mostly, and I'm down for it. Dude, why does Chamber got to take another stray? Because it's not his fault. It's Invisible Woman's fault, ultimately. She's just too good next to Joe Costa. She's too good in front of Prodigy. It's not Chamber's fault. That deck is just really good when you have all 3 of those units on the field, which is Invisible Woman, Joe Costa, and Prodigy all in the same lane. It's just too many end of turn procs. It's just this doesn't really change anything with the deck. Like, the deck's still gonna be punching above its weight class, but like, I mean, it's something. It just sucks that Chambers got to take another stray because he's just in the deck. Moondragon being this way, I don't really like. I guess that makes sense because it's an end of turn card, but it does suck at the same time because I don't think Moondragon deserved this. I don't think either of them deserve this. I think the Invisible Woman is the problem. The core problem is Invisible Woman. Khazar is getting a buff from a 4/5 to a 4/6. Same passive. Odin's getting a change. Why are we buffing Odin? That's great. Bucky's getting a change from a 2/1 to a 2/2. You know, if they were gonna buff Bucky, don't you just give him another power into his Winter Soldier form? Not his. No, okay. So I don't really like the Bucky change. Bucky change doesn't really appeal to me. It's not, like you want to destroy him anyway, so it doesn't really do anything for him. If he was a 2/8, that'd be kind of dope. But he's still a 2/7, so I think they just buffed the wrong place. Black Bolt's going from a 5/7 to a 5/8. On reveal, discard a card that costs the least from your opponent's hands. I mean, that buffs this card, I guess. We got a number of other buffs before we move on to the more structural change. Khazar hasn't been seeing much success lately, and his output has been competed by other wide board strategies. So we're giving the classic card a little boost. Another classic, Odin is refusing a small bump to the digit to power up support a range of unrevealed decks. Bucky's changes is usually targeted towards the decks that resurrect cards like Morgan Le Fay, but give a bit more power to Venom 2. I mean, I guess, but it's not like that big of a deal. Finally, while we don't often push the discard strategies too hard, Black Bolt has been weak enough for long enough, and we're happy to give him a small buff. We're changing the number of cards and locations to line up with the chamber's structure for cleaner text box. Abilities that previously referenced 1, 2, 3 costs will now look for 3 or less, where areas for those 4, 5, 6 costs will now be 4 or higher. So this also means it applies to 7 cost. We expect many of these changes to be relatively neutral in strength, or relatively neutral in strength, but some cards like US Agent and Goose and Man-Thing will benefit from a wider targeting range. Our net cards: USA Agent, Goose, Iron Patriot, Man-Thing, Moonstone. Oh, Moonstone getting technically changed from this. So is Man-Thing. So is US Agent. Goose is interesting too. Like locations: Crimson, Cosmos, and the Big House. All those also do things. So okay, so that's interesting. Minor changes and bug fixes. Approximate midnight wording updated to use when discarded. Hela now picks targets as she resurrects them rather than picking them all at once at the start. If you have a Ghost Rider 4 cost and 2 Hulks 6 cost in your discard pile, previously Hela would revive Ghost Rider and then whiff on reviving a Hulk. When Ghost Rider resurrects the one she picks. Now the scenario, you'll always get a Ghost Rider and both Hulks, granted you have enough space. This is all that's all for this week. Hope you're enjoying the new season. Happy snapping. It makes Man-Thing a bit better, actually. Now you can actually hit, like, 0 cost. That makes USA Agent better, too. Now you can hit actual, like, 7 cost. That's an interesting set of changes. I don't dislike them. I think they're alright. Wolverine is better. He's really easy to get the ejecta for. You just got to give him a singular power, which is really easy. but I still don't really like him without Storm. I think him plus Storm is like the synergy that you need. So you play Wolverine, Horseman of War, plus Storm, Horseman of Famine, and then you're just going a lot higher in the net positives. Very interesting. Chamber taking a bullet's kind of annoying. I actually never get to use Chamber because he's just getting harder to use. Moon Dragon taking a bullet, it sucks, but like Invisible Woman's just too good. Techno-Organic Virus being easier to use is nice. Will it change the way it's being played? Probably a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Who's the MVP in this whole patch? Are the MVPs USA Agent Goose, Man-Thing, and Moonstone? And oh no, Iron Patriot can pull Think Thing Foom now. Oh crap. Unironically, I think the winners are the ones that got like the cost change to like how it's worded. I think those are the winners. Wolverine is better, for sure. And I think now you use him with like Storm, and that's a really good synergy combo there, which would be nice to pick up. I will probably pick up his pack, and then I'll pick up Storm's pack. That way I save my collector coins, because I don't think they're going to have collector coins in those packs, which is disappointing. And then I may use both of them. I don't know where, but they would probably be decent somewhere together. Probably be somewhere... like... because you just buff your overall board, right? So you'd want to go wider. I don't know. I don't know where you'd run them. Same decks probably, so it is what it is. That's interesting. I don't hate it. Don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think it's a very interesting way to change the game a little bit when it comes to balance. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm a little bit more interested in Wolverine now, and that makes me a little bit more interested in Storm, because I feel like those two are a 1-2 combo. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and the fact that Shallow never got nerfed is crazy. We're just gonna let Shallow live his life, huh? Fair enough. I guess they're trying to make it to where you can go big or go wide. It's just Shalow's powers output's a lot higher than Wolverine and Storm's, even though it's a little closer now. It is a little closer now, so we're getting to that point where going wide may be an option. So, we'll see. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.